thank you for being here together with me. You guys both went to Peru last year. Sam, how old were you when you came? Sam for Samantha. That's Samantha.
I was 15.
15? You were 17, 18?
18.
18 years of age. And I remember what even got you interested in coming to Peru?
Well, I just thought I felt God pulling me to Peru, and it's just an amazing country. I just loved it so much, and I don't know, I just felt like a feeling like that's where I need to be.
So kind of your own quiet times, your own little walk with God, he just kind of put on you. And what about you? You had to go protect your little sister?
Well, actually, Emily had brought it up to me a while ago during the Kandar class. So then she kept mentioning it to me almost every day I saw it. And she was like, Ben, you have to come, you have to come, you have to come. So,
You didn't have a chance.
yeah. So after a few weeks of deliberation, I kept praying, hoping that God would say, oh, maybe you should go, maybe you shouldn't go. And then I think that the final decision was I should go. So.
Okay. So you guys, either you or your parents called, I think your mom called, right, and said, hey, what's this about? Could you come over? Because we said we'd love to go to anybody's house. We went to your house for dinner, talked to your parents. They saw that we weren't weird. Actually, they probably found out we were weird. But we were okay weird, I guess. And I remember your dad bringing up the idea of finances. And $3,100, he did the simple math, 3,100 times 2, that was $6,200. He looked at me kind of saying, is this going to cost me $6,200? My response was, well, it depends upon your faith and what you're asking God for. God could supply all of it through donations. And that's what you guys chose to do. You chose to trust God to raise the money up. So Ben, you guys, you raised it all up, correct?
Yeah.
So $6,200. Did your parents pay anything?
No.
Not a thing. Okay. How did you do it? Let's start with you, Ben. What did you do?
Well, actually, 10 minutes after you guys left it for dinner,
That quick?
my friend came over and was talking to me about his job, and I asked if they were hiring. He said, yeah. So the next day, I called his owner, and I had a job set up for the next week.
Whoa.
So I was working 2 jobs within a week.
Working 2 jobs then. So did you pay for most of it yourself?
I paid for the majority of my
75%, 50%?
75, I think.
Okay, so how did you get the other 25%?
Through donations.
And how did you get those donations?
Mostly Sam had sent out letters and walked door to door.
So you guys contacted friends, relatives, aunts, uncles, grandparents, sending out a letter. Sam, what did the letter say, since you did the letter, it sounds like?
Well, we did the sample letters recommended by E3 Partners, and it was actually a funny story. I put in the wrong number for 33 letters, and I had printed them all out, and I was just so frustrated up to that point. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm done. But I just listened to Christian music, and I just knocked them all out in 10 minutes.
Great. And so E3 Partners, the ministry that we team up with, they provide fundraising tools. You use those fundraising tools. Mm-hmm. So you did a sample letter that they did. You filled in the blank country, which was Peru, the blank city, Cuzco, the amount, $3,100, sent that out to relatives, and then what happened?
Well, we waited, and it took a while for all the donations to come in, and my mom started to get stressed, so I started going door to door to everyone in my neighborhood, and that's how I raised probably half of my money.
So you'd literally go door to door, knocking on their door. What would you say?
I'd say, hi, I'm going to Peru for a mission trip.
They knew you, I assume?
Mm-hmm. Some of them didn't, but and those were actually people who donated the most.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you went door to door, you knocked on doors of people you didn't even know in your neighborhood. Hi, my name's Samantha Birch. I'm going to Peru.
Yep, I handed them a letter, what it was, and sometimes they would even be like, let me read over this, make sure it's real, and then I'll send you money. And I always thought, okay, that's a no. But next day I'd get $20 in my mailbox. So.
Mm-hmm. So the average size gift you got was $20?
Yep.
Wow, so you must have gotten a lot of $20 gifts.
Yeah.
We did get one donation that was very sizable, so we were very happy about that.
Okay.
We didn't expect that at all.
And that was from somebody, was that a relative? Was that?
It was a relative.
Relative. So you also wrote to all your aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpas.
Yeah.
What percent of them responded?
I have to say 75%.
Probably the majority, yeah.
Okay, a good majority of the people responded. Cool. And so you raised half of it from kind of aunts and uncles, and then half of it door to door for you. Yeah. And you paid a little over half of just the work you did.
Yeah.
And we would cut out all eating,
oh, yeah.
eating out. We'd every time we'd say, I'm not going to eat out today. Instead, I'm going to put $20 in a jar and keep
Yeah.
it for Peru. And
Nice.
that actually helped a lot.
We did a ton of saving. We just tried to like cut out all expenses we could.
Yeah.
Oh, that is great. Great idea. Okay. And so you cut out expenses, went door to door, raised it with the letters. Anything else? Is that pretty much it?
That's
I
pretty
think
much
that
it.
was it, yeah.
You didn't do any car washes. You didn't do any.
We didn't need to in the end.
Did you do any extra babysitting?
No, I
Did-
didn't need to. Like, once we put out there, like, hey, we're going on a mission trip, all of our friends were just like, okay, here you go.
Did you have some of your peers donate? Some of your kids in school, friends in school?
Not necessarily.
No.
Okay.
There's a lot of people we weren't very close with.
People you weren't very close with.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? And a lot of times, some of the rich aunt and uncles that you have, you think will give a lot, usually don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was-
And those that they're never going to give anything, they end up giving a semi-sizable gift.
yeah.
And the poor people usually give some of the biggest gifts
Yeah.
because they, for some reason, are more free of giving because they don't have it to begin with. So, what's this? So, how did Peru impact you? Ben?
It was definitely life changing. Just going there and seeing, what God can do through you is really changes your whole perspective on everything, I think.
Mm-hmm. Would you say you're a different person as a result of having gone?
I hope I am.
Yeah, it's a fair answer. Sam, what about you?
It really got me out of my comfort zone, and like I didn't.
You had a
know-
terrible leader with you. Your partner was
Yeah, I know,
terrible.
he was the worst.
The worst.
Oh my
That was me, of course. So
But,
Sam and I teamed up together.
Yeah, it definitely got me out of my comfort zone, and I didn't think I could do that. And when I came back, I realized it was all God. Like I could not.
And had you ever shared your faith before?
No,
Never shared your faith
I
before.
had never been on a mission trip.
Never been on a mission trip. And first day we went, you and I teamed up. You had your own translator, but you listened to me give the presentation, which is usually what we do. We team you up if you're a student with another adult who's done this. You get training in it, experience, and so they train you in it basically. And then I basically said, Sam, you think you could do this on your own? Well, yeah, I guess so. And you started doing it. And then you probably wanted to beat me up because there were times when I said, I'm in a meeting, can't do this, can you handle it on your own? You remember those
Yeah,
days?
those were scary days.
Scary days. So you not only had to talk to people about the gospel, you had to follow up with them, and you had to teach the 6-question Bible study on your own. How did that go?
That went really, really well. It took me like a few practices, but after that, I just felt God's presence, and it just like overwhelmed me.
And I remember actually the very last day, I went and visited you to follow you up because my meeting took a lot longer. I called again your translator. They all have cell phones, so I called your translator. Tell Sam I can't do it. She's on her own. You ended up leading a Bible study in a little shop with about 10, 12 people. Is that right? Kids, adults, grandma. Grandma was there. And I don't know if you remember this, but after it was all over, you came out, and this little 17-year-old girl came out. And I said, oh, is that the 17-year-old girl you led to the Lord yesterday? Remember that? And your answer was?
No, that's the 17-year-old girl I led to the Lord today.
Today. So you led quite a few people to the Lord on that trip.
Yeah.
And you found out your exact words to me were,
I'm on fire.
I'm on fire. So you went from never having shared your faith to being on fire. And that kind of an impact.
Yeah.
How has your life been since you come back?
It's been like, I really feel changed. I really feel a lot more open with my faith.
Good. Wonderful. And you're off to college, right? I mean, you've been in school now at college. And as much of a difference, but that's a whole new environment. That's a whole new, you're just trying to get settled in being a college student.
Yeah.
You're about 1.25 semesters into it.
Yeah.
You've gone back to the same old set of friends, same old groups. Do your friends see a difference in you?
I would hope so. I think they do. I think they see that I'm more open and they can come to me when they need Christian advice.
Good. Now, suppose there's somebody out there in YouTube land watching this. They're high school students, junior high, whatever. They're thinking about going. What would you say to them?
I would definitely go, even though it's completely going out of your comfort zone. Like I really didn't want to go. I was like, this is just so much money I have to raise up, and it's just take forever to do all this. But I definitely want to go back and do it because the knowledge you gain there is just, it's just incredible what you do.
What would you say, Sam?
The amount is daunting that you have to supply, but once you put it out there, the Lord will provide. I mean, it's amazing. Like after 10 minutes, Ben already had another job. So.
Yeah. Amen.